everybody, Rebecca and Glennie here from the Chilton Public Library, and welcome to our special December Cook the Book Charcuterie Board style. Today we're going to be looking at a few cookbooks that are showcasing different ways to display food. We have one board that has a straight up charcuterie style, which is actually cold meat, but we use that term sometimes for all these other boards that we're seeing right now. So Glennie is joining me today with Cook the Book. And one of the reasons that we picked charcuterie style is it seems like it's everywhere online right now. We've seen stories on Facebook and Instagram about it. So Glennie, what did you think when I brought up the idea of us doing a charcuterie board, Cook the Book? And what do you think of this trend that's going on right now?
Well, I love it, and especially with the holidays coming, it's a really fun way, especially since we're hunkering down and maybe not being so festive in group numbers, possibly. It's a fun way to make festive in whatever the numbers of people you are. So it's very adaptable, and I love the idea. I was sort of thinking charcuterie more traditional, like cheeses, cured meats, like salamis, pastrami's, and what's the cured Italian meat from
Prosciutto.
Prosciutto, thank you.
Love it.
And soppressata and all those wonderful Italian, like I think I go to Italy, I think Italian boards, which are lots of meats and cheeses. So it was really fun for me to see like sweet versions or a breakfast version or different times of day, tea time versions. That's basically a board, but it could really be a platter or your favorite plates that you could do it on. Right now, boards are trending, and I've always done boards myself. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I hope you do too, because as you will find out later, if you get busy after this and get active and start making them, you'll be taking pictures and showing off your tastinesses, because the tastiness part is, I find it very inspiring and celebratory. It makes the food just come alive and make it feel special.
It really does. I have to say that generally I was more of just a like slap some meat and cheese and some crackers on a plate and platter, and not maybe I'd have them in rows and never really put a lot of thought into the maybe presentation aspect of it. And I think because of the fact that we may be holding different gatherings than we normally would this time of year, that maybe putting that little extra thought into how it might present might bring a little bit of specialness to a small holiday gathering of just your internal household and that.
Yeah. So what book did you use?
So the book that I used is the Onboards book by Lisa Dawn Bolton. It was published in 2018. So I guess maybe it was a little ahead of the trend that's going on right now. I made on out of mine the Baby It's Cold Outside board. Let me show you. This is what the board looks like in the book. I can tell you my board doesn't quite look like that. And I'll show that in just a few minutes on there. What I really liked about this book, and I think most people will, is that it is a full colored book. Each page has a full color of the boards that it has, as well as, let me kick over to some of the recipes, as well as some of the recipes that are in there. This book is laid out by having all the different boards displayed first. So they have traditional boards. This one here is an Egg and Soldiers brunch board on there. And so each page has a different style board on there. And then later on in the book, it then has the assorted recipes that may go with some of those boards on there as well. All of these recipes, or I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them do seem to have some type of pairing to go with it. Either that, like for instance, this Bavarian Bounty is a heavy meat and bread board. So they recommend maybe like a schnitzel with this. They also sometimes give you some drink recommendations on there. I actually had thought about doing the something sweet board here which has like a chocolate pudding, some grapes, some fruit, oranges, raspberries, as well as some cheese and apricot preserves. And they actually recommended a Muscat with this. I really like Muscats, and so I thought it would be a great way to just have a reason to have a Muscat and feed yourself at the same time. So I really did like that aspect of the book, and I like that they had a pairing on there. In addition to it being full colored and the way that it's laid out, the start of the book actually gives you some really good ideas as to how to begin. Right, as Glennie had said, right, you really can use anything. You can use a platter, you can use a plate. Um, this book is about boards, right, on board. And so it talks about it, the different types of board, wood boards, slate boards, marble boards, how to care for them as well, which is really good to know, as well as like what type of tools you might use traditionally when you are putting together a board, as well as like how much you need and like what things you should gather when you're putting it together, the different types of meats and cheeses and that. One of the things that I did find really interesting was when they went to the cheese part, they actually here, I'm going to bring in a little closer just so you can see. Oops. They actually diagrammed out how to slice some of the cheeses so that they lay out on the board nice and that they're easier for your guests to be able to use the ingredients that are on that board. So that part was really, really interesting. So I'm going to switch the camera over so I can show you the board. And then Glennie is actually going to finish off the board. One of the recipes on my board was a goat cheese that is rolled in some crushed mixed nuts and cherries. So if you give me 1 second here, I'm going to first show you where we're at. And so this here is our layout of boards. And the one that I did, the Baby It's Cold Outside, is this one here. And it has mixed nuts, some dried breadsticks, some salami, some prosciutto. I have 2 different types of olives on it. One is a feta stuffed olive, and the other one is a garlic stuffed, some brie, and some crackers. And then we have the roll of goat cheese. And so I'm going to have Glennie grab that roll of goat cheese. And she's going to open that up. And while she's doing that, I'm going to put this back so that I can switch the camera over for you guys. Sorry about the shaky cam a little bit. Let's go here. All right. And I'm going to tip this down. Glennie is taking that roll of goat cheese, and she's just going to press that right into those crushed nuts and dried cherries. And what I did, and I followed the directions in the book, I don't always do that very well, is the nuts were just crushed in a plastic bag with a heavy bottom glass. I just used a mason jar to crush them a little bit. And then I did slice up the dried cherries a little bit. And so they just recommended in the book to just take that goat cheese, roll it, and press it down into the nuts so that the goat cheese gets covered in it. And once you have that, it just goes right onto the board.
Nice.
And Glennie's going to set that down on there.
That looks really pretty.
And that was the Baby It's Cold Outside. Now, I didn't use every ingredient that was in that recipe. Some of it was I wanted to just look for items that we could source locally, either through Burns Cheese here in town or at Walmart. And so all the items that are on that board I was able to purchase here in Chilton, which was really nice. And now I'm going to let Glennie talk about the book, what book that she used. And then she's also going to then show you one of the other boards that she makes.
So tell me, are we
Yep,
good?
you are good.
We're good to go. So I read Platters and Boards by Shelly, Westerhausen, and Wyatt, Worcel, another 2018 book. And what I liked about this is it also similarly tells you about boards and about ingredients to begin, which is nice. And it gives you an overview. And of course, the pictures are always wonderful. And what I liked about this one, again, like I said before, was that it broadened my horizons. Like here, the one I ended up liking was, oh, that's what I'm going to do on Solstice. Here's Winter Solstice. I did not do this board, but there it is. It's rather beautiful. And it has these curried carrot shooters. So you'd have like a little curried carrot soup. You have some beets and cauliflower and sort of sunshiny types of vegetables. So it's very bright and cheery, thinking of the sun, the darkest day of the year, thinking of the sun coming back. So I'm actually going to do that one for Solstice. But the one I did is not that one either. Is a breakfast board. And here I think it is hiding. And it could be breakfast. It could be a light supper if you felt yogurty and fruity. So this is parfait. And it's granola two ways. There's a sweet cinnamon cherry granola and a ginger apricot, which the layout of this book I liked because it gives you the picture and it grouped it such that the recipes are right there, right behind the picture. So it's groupings of picture, ingredients, recipes, and then put it together. And you can actually they give the recipes for the two granolas. If you don't have time to do that, you don't have to. So I did not make those recipes yet, but I will. And so I really enjoyed thinking about breakfast, like so Christmas morning or a holiday morning or a birthday morning, if somebody has a birthday. Sort of start the day with a pretty spread to be festive right from the get-go.
And I'm going to actually show that board real quick. Yeah. Glennie's board is beautiful. I just love it. And hers is this first one right here. Oh, I just can't get over
so there's
like everything, just like the presentation and all of that.
And as you do it, so you look at pictures, you read recipes, you get inspired, and then as you do it, it's not like you have to totally replicate what's in the book. You just use what you have and scatter it around, build it, and then when you think you're done, maybe add a few more things. That's my key.
So I would take it, this must be the yogurt
and you
here.
Could use vanilla yogurt. You could use your favorite yogurt. That's plain, because in this jar and over here I have honey. So you can drizzle, if you had a little spoon, ta-da, you have little spoons in there that you would drizzle over. You'd have your own little bowl. You'd put your yogurt, top with your granola, your berries, maybe some of the toasted coconut, which is on top of the granola. And so it's just it's a lovely, relaxed way to really enjoy your breakfast and put glory in the new day.
So how long do you think it took you to put that board together?
Well, the hardest part was really not that long because I had a box of blackberries, a box of blueberries, a box of raspberries. I put the yogurt in a bowl. If you wanted to, you could swirl your yogurt and make it as fancy or as unfancy as possible. That's plain. And so really my vision is you would have your own bowl. You'd put your yogurt in a bowl. You'd sprinkle granola on top. And then you'd have your berries and anoint it however you like in a very sort of relaxed, wonderful way. And everybody can build their own bowl and make it how they like it. So I like that it gives flexibility to each person, gets to do their own the way they want. And but I really do. I would recommend this book because there's this one, there's another one back here that is rather nice. This is a Halloween board. I don't know why Halloween, but it's
maybe the mulled cider on it.
Fall. Yeah, fall. Because I was at a Halloween board of fall, and I like that they have fresh figs. That made me hungry. And pears, so it's a fallish kind of a board. And then there's one more back here that California dreaming, so it's cold outside, and maybe you're thinking of warm places. And just another picture, another idea to think of abundance and piles of food, sort of artfully done. I find that really fun. And so there's one board. I'm going to build a board in a couple of minutes here, or maybe sooner than I think. But both of these books will be available for checkout or put on hold by the end of the day.
Yep, I would say before, right? It probably about, I would say 30 minutes after this showtime goes up. So I would say probably by 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And we're open till 6, and we are open on Saturday, just in time for you to be able to start getting your holiday planning done and still get some shopping done before it gets really crazy.
And I think it's a fun way to include the kids too, in terms of, what kind of a board would you like to see on the board, and get them involved in making it pretty and planning. So it's a nice family activity too.
All right.
So should I make one?
Yes. I'm going to tip the camera down so people can now see.
So this isn't following any recipe. This is just saying, okay, We have some salmon here, some lemon pepper salmon. I put cream cheese in a little glass here. One could like go like this. Do a couple of these where you would have a little bit of the salmon flaked, and we'd put a piece of that on top, and you could even put one of those there for like to give them an idea. So, oh, that's what you do. And you'd have maybe a fork here, maybe 2 forks, because maybe more than one person wants to do that. And maybe we'd have some grapes piled up here. I have a fun thing I like to do with apples, which is I love this thing, which you chop your apples and you can sort of make them beautiful by just, you can do, and you can throw them in a pile. You can even take the sticker off first.
A tip for your apples, just to let you know, is that either lemon juice, pineapple. I actually like pineapple juice because of I'm not a lemon fan, and that helps prevent your apples from browning. So if you're going to have them out on the board, and you just don't like that appearance, doesn't hurt it. You could just, and you don't. It's not even like a soak. You just need to do like a quick, like toss with some sort of like acidic juice, and there you go. Your apples won't brown.
You can have some nuts there, maybe some almonds, and you put more grapes in between. So you can really just play around with it, have some fun. Now you can put, if you like, you could even have toothpicks here and there for, you know, that kind of a thing, so that people can have a toothpick to use. I mean, it can be that simple. The longest part would be like washing your fruit, because literally all these nuts came from bags. You open the bag, pour them in your little dishes, and you can have fun with what dishes you want to have there. You can have a couple more of those here, or just throw a couple of grapes there, and there's a board. That
didn't take you very long at all.
No, once you have all the hard part is like gathering your things, and then once you have your things in your pantry, once everything's in your pantry, you can begin to have that set. I know some Norwegian friends, what they do is they have a board, think of a board, but it's maybe a Tupperware rectangle with a lid. And so every morning for breakfast, they have in there, they take their box out of the refrigerator and they open it. And their box is basically a pile of fruit, cheese with a knife like this, that you would then take your cheese out, and bread, and maybe a sausage that's all sliced up already. So then people would snack on it, and when they're all done, they would just put the lid on and put it back in the fridge. That's
neat.
Really smart.
Now I'm like, oh, Christmas, perfect Christmas gift, and especially once we are able to have people back in gathering and visiting and all that. What a great way, if you're having company stay for like a weekend or whatnot, to have something like that in your fridge. Especially if maybe you're on different schedules and somebody gets up a little earlier, how easy it is to just take that out and put it right on the table, and you're ready to go for a breakfast morning with like that parfait one, or even like a light lunch, or even maybe a light dinner.
My husband and I do that for dinner pretty much every weeknight. We'll have a different board, and so it's pretty much like this. Maybe it's salmon and fruit, maybe cheeses. We do this a lot. So the first thing I do when I get home is get the board ready for snacking, so when we watch the news, we're having our relaxing end of the day kombucha libation of your choice, and then snacking. And that's a nice light supper. It's also nice to do throughout the day. You're maybe making one big meal for the day, and then you can have sort of snacks throughout for people to graze. It's great for grazing.
Oh, and especially this time of year, right? Maybe you are outside working, building that wood pile, or you're just taking a walk outside and you want to, come home real quick, maybe a snowball fight, and you have the kids ready. One of the boards that we put together was also for a more wintry fun one is I'm going to try to not make you all dizzy, is this hot cocoa board that we started to put together. and it has just some chocolate stars that you can use to, if you're just using hot milk and you put enough of those chocolate stars in to melt for your hot chocolate. Or you could use hot cocoa if you want. We also have some soft peppermints that will melt in that hot chocolate, as well as some caramel sauce. I like actually butterscotch, so I usually throw some butterscotch chips into my cocoa, as well as either some marshmallows or whipped cream. I'm a ready whip kind of girl, I guess. So I usually have that in the fridge. I know there are people who make it from scratch, and it's very good. Sometimes that's a little more work than I'm wanting to partake in after some wintry fun. So those were the two books that Glennie and I did. We also have another book, Glennie, if you would like to grab that one. It's called Stunning Spreads. That one we did not go through and review yet. I know that there's also a few other books within the system. Ooh. So if these aren't available, you could certainly put any of those other ones on hold. See, that is a really beautiful. Nice.
So then how thinly, if you take how many pieces can you get out of your pear? Like super thinly sliced things can make quite a dramatic impact. That's really stunning. And here's a buffalo turkey meatballs board or dish.
So yeah, I think that's a dish to put on the board.
Yeah, it's really nice. And here's dips and spreads, how you can maybe use, that's another idea, how to use a carved out apple, or for Christmas, maybe a carved out clementine or orange that you would have something in there. Really nice. So we have 3 books based on these kinds of things. Here's a cranberry walnut baked brie. Ooh, who doesn't like that?
Yeah, right. Now I'm getting really hungry. I'm glad I ate lunch just before.
And then butter, and sometimes that little bit of here's grilled shrimp on a board. Sometimes to have those little compotes or a little bit of drizzle of honey or a little like fig honey preserve on a board can be really nice. That little bit of sweet to offset the salty. So yeah. So I hope you all get very busy building boards and then taking pictures.
We, as I said, we have these 3 new books here at the library that are going to be available to check out. And so we are encouraging you all to check them out, give them a try, or maybe just go online and see what you can find and see if you want to replicate that, or even try to build your own. So to encourage a sense of community within your own home and a sense of festiveness, we are going to be running from today, which is December 18th, through January 3rd, which is Sunday, so you can still submit on January 3rd, a photo of the boards that you create. And for every photo that you post on in our comments, so either on the comments underneath our YouTube page, this YouTube video here down below, or we're also going to have this posted on Facebook. You can post it on Facebook in the comments on there as well. Post your photos, and for every photo, you're going to get an entry in for a $25 gift card to Vern's Cheese here in Chilton. You do have to be able to pick that card up in person, or you have to have a Chilton address if we're going to, or a Chilton locale within our service area for us to mail that if you cannot come in due to health reasons or due to the pandemic. Otherwise, post your boards. We'd love to see what you guys come up with, either in any of these books or on your own. I'm so glad that you guys were able to join us for the Cook the Book for December. We are going to be coming out probably next week or the week after as to what we are going to be doing in January. However, if there is one that you are interested in having us do, leave us a comment or let us know. We can certainly see what we can put together for our next Cook the Book. If we don't see you before the holidays, have a wonderful holiday, a wonderful Christmas, and a wonderful New Year. It's an awful lot of wonderfuls, but we really do mean it. Thank you all for patronizing the library throughout 2020. It has been an interesting year, to say the least. We are definitely looking forward to 2021 and hopefully being able to see everybody within the building at some point in the future. Thank you so much.
Sending you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.